A full season that you have to make sure you get back on track requires the fact that you have to have weapons, not just for Patrick Mahomes and however long he's going to be out in 2026, but to add and give more accomplices to what is Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy. We're going to help fix that today on a special Mock This episode. Tell me what I did wrong. This is pre-recorded, but you guys can talk about it in the chat. And yes, I am always listening. So let's go and get after it. Welcome, and this is RGR Football. I'm Ryan Tracy. 20 years. I've been training athletes, working as a coach, back and forth. Last 10, I've been in the media side. And so I've done this a ton. I have compiled stats on 27 draft classes. That's how much of work goes into preparing for the draft guide that we do over at Rogue Analytics and Performance Consulting, as well as my custom only found on Rogue Analytics Athletic Matrix. That is 10 times what RAS is. If you want to see actual comparisons, get ready because the combine is coming. Now, I paused this one because I was doing this mock earlier today just in preparation, and this situation fell to me, and I know a lot of people have been all over me about you're not doing realistic drafts, you're not doing things that really make sense. So I want to give you guys probably a couple here. We'll see how long it takes. Options of what it really could look like. And we're going to start with this situation because I want us to take a hard look at what the draft looks like if we decide to go with a running back in the first round. And that's only because Jeremiah Love made it down to number 9 where the Chiefs are sitting. You can see Mendoza went first. That's pretty consistent across the board because the Raiders need a quarterback. I don't see that changing anytime soon. Reese and Bain, I just said last night on the Q&A, which if you have not subscribed yet, make sure you do because the Q&As are every Monday night. I said those are the two guys that I would be considering at the top of my defensive board right now. Then Bailey, you get Tate. Caleb Down goes at 6. I hate to see somebody get drafted by Cleveland, but, sometimes that's what has to happen. Then Lemon goes. Dan just did a great piece on him breaking down the film, so get ready for that. And then Sonny Styles, which leaves us with the top running back and a guy who claims that he feels he is the best player in this draft right up here at the top. Now, I'm just going to look at the trade offers because I want to see what they look like. Baltimore here is wanting to come up. They give you 45 in addition to 14. Carolina's probably more desperate. They give you 3 picks, which is not unheard of if they see somebody that they want to come get. That's a little rich, but that could happen. But we're going to extend this scenario. For those of you that are dying for Jeremiah Love, I want you to take a look and let's see what we get at 40 if we go ahead and put the best running back in this draft onto the Chiefs roster. Boom, we take the running back. And unfortunately, I set it up wrong. So we only got to make 1 pick. So let's try this again and see where we can get to. We're going to go turbo. And we're going to see if we can get the same scenario. It might take me a couple of times here, folks. So bear with me, and we'll see where we can get. Because I do think this is something that will happen from time to time where the machines will simulate not getting him drafted early. And that's really, really strange. So here we are back at the same situation. And we have some trade down offers. We'll just take a look at them. Now Miami's in the mix. So they'd have to give up top picks. They'd give up not 43. Well, then you're not going to get this pick. That's super ridiculous. You have to give up a second-round pick if you want to come up into the top 10. It's just that easy. Then it looks like the Bucs might want to do it. They'd easily give up 46, I would think, and probably throw in, a third-rounder, fourth-rounder kind of thing as well. So just so we know the value we're talking about. But again, we're taking Jeremiah Love. We're putting him on the Chiefs roster. We're going to see how this falls down to where they are next. And I really want to take a look at this. Maui Noah goes. McCoy is a risk. I don't really think he's going to go in the top 11. Dan thinks he's worth it, but I think he's too much risk coming off of that injury, so I think he falls down. We see Fano go at 16. I think that's a realistic option for the Chiefs to trade down. That would be somebody they'd look at. Caden Proctor's getting all kinds of love right now. I'm not really sure why. We're going to have to take a deeper dive on him because my initial read was he's good, but he's not that good. I'm growing to like TJ Parker more and more. You'll see more about him coming up in the next couple of weeks. Mesidor creeps into the bottom of the first round. That's something to keep an eye on if this scenario holds. Then we come back. We're seeing a couple of guys Thunderman, it's still a little rich for me, but it puts us here where we are in this situation with the safety from Toledo, with Jade Yakis. Gabe tore up the Senior Bowl. I didn't see it on film as much as I did at the Senior Bowl, so that's something to keep an eye on. Stowers, who Dan is pretty high on as well. There's Zion Young. There's Mac Ian Anchor. Is that how I say that? He also has been a fast riser, somebody at the offensive tackle position. And we have Overton. I'm not terribly impressed with Overton, but if we're specifically looking at defensive line, let's take a look at what we have. And it leaves us really, in this scenario, according to this board, with really only two options, Yakis and Young. Now, I like Romello Height, but he needs development. He's not somebody that I think has any chance of coming in and making a direct impact on the Chiefs in this season. I just don't see it happening. And they would have to change to a 3-4 to really make him a viable option. Now, there's other guys deeper down, but we can't afford to wait because we took what I think is a luxury pick in the running back in the first round. We're going to have to come back and go edge. I'll give a slight edge to Yakis here, given his Senior Bowl performance. So let's put him on the roster. We're going to go down to 74. We're going to see what's here. Now, the guy that is sitting here in this scenario, I think actually is going to be a second rounder, if not pushing higher, because I do think he will climb this board this whole offseason because there's just no depth at quarterback. So I think they're going to push him up. I think he's going to climb in Trinidad Chambliss. That may help us out. We're at 74, and we could trade back a little bit. I don't think the Steelers are going to give us anything of value. Like, they wouldn't even consider it until like 135, and that's not something I'm interested in. So this is the point where we wouldn't do this. CJ Daniels could add to the offense. We certainly could do that. Again, we just got a weapon for Patrick Mahomes, or for anybody really, for this offense in Jeremiah Love at the top of the draft. So do we really want to go offense, or we're trying to look for depth here on the defensive side of the roster? And I'm just not seeing anybody that's making me want to leap at it. And that's the problem. 75 is a little rich for Jacob Rodriguez, although I do think he will have an impact. Anthony Lucas is okay. I don't think we'd have to double down here. As far as like the upside, I don't see it. CJ Daniels is probably a decent pick here. We took a running back, so we're definitely not taking another. Dunker got his butt kicked all at the Senior Bowl. I'm not really interested in him either. There's just not a lot of love here, and that's where I'm concerned. Would we have to stretch and take a Jacob Rodriguez, who might be one of the more interesting players on this board right here? That's the question. Malik Muhammad is a guy that I do like. Could double down with Anthony Lucas, but given that we're not trading back in this scenario, I don't think that we will. So it comes down to this for me. We missed out on Sadiq. I don't see a tight end that I really want to go get. So it's either CJ Daniels or Jacob Rodriguez. And that's what it's going to come down to. It's just tough to pull the trigger here on what we're getting. So let's go with the wide receiver. We'll put him on the board. I thought he made some nice plays in the Natty, and I think he got enough of a reputation that he's somebody that could probably come in and help. And now we're back to what value is left. I'm not trading with the Raiders, but them and the Niners are about the only ones going. So we're going to take these picks is the way that it's going to work. And we're going to look at Muhammad's there. Okay, so Bud Clark's there, can help out in the secondary. That's very dependent on what happens with Brian Cook. So we do have to keep an eye on that. Cruising down here, I think it's pretty clear to me what we need to do, and that is to bolster the defensive line some more with Skyler. Skyler's a little bit undersized. I can't remember where. 6'1". If he's under that, then we're in real trouble. But he can slice and he can get into the backfield, and I do think that's a skill that they're looking for. Let's put him on the board here and see what happens at 146 when we get down here. Luckily, I remember to put it on the fast side here. Now, Raritan is a guy that Dan likes, so that's a feather in his cap. I'm looking for others. Dan's high on Kilgore as well on the cornerback side. Couple of Golden Domers here. Drew Shelton, interesting, but I'm not sure is a greatest fit. You guys know I like Perkins, so I'll stay away from him this time. Kobe Baines. I always like to see a Jayhawk on the roster. Sorry, Tiger fans. Tanner Koziel. He's a guy, and given where he's ranked and where he's going, we have a shot. I do think he has some upside that it could be a tight end the Chiefs could work with. Dan likes Takara Davis. If we don't go Reardon, we might come back that direction. And I think Kilgore might be the answer here. What's he listed at? I have not seen his actual. Calling him 6'1". Okay. It's going to depend how he runs. But for right now, let's try to restock. Knowing that we're letting Nazi go, we're letting Joshua Williams go, trying to give more depth with Noah Williams, hopefully with Jalen Watson and Trent McDuffie, as well as CRW back. Now we're down to 176, and Tanner's here. So we made it, and I do think he's a reputable guy that has some upside left in him. So let's put the tight end on the board as well. And we'll let this finish out and take a look at the rest. I think this turned out pretty well, to tell you the truth. I feel pretty good about it. And this was all value picks for the most part. On PFF, that's how you get a top grade. And it was straight. We didn't trade back. We didn't trade up. We just took guys as they were available in this scenario. Jeremiah Love changes the landscape of the running back position and would help whoever the backup quarterback is that will have to fill in for Patrick Mahomes. Gabe Yakus comes in and gives you some pass rush. Is he ready to be a dominant one pass rusher? I don't think that's where he's at, but he might have the potential to get there. CJ Daniels works in and I think pushes what we have in Jalen Royals as a 3-4 kind of guy at this point, knowing that we're losing right now in free agency. Tyquan Thornton, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Hollywood Brown are all free agents. They need to bolster the group. I think one of them comes back. I'm not sure who at this point. Then they come back. They get Kilgore, the corner that Dan likes. We go Skylar Gill-Howard, try to get a little more oomph and pass rush on the defensive line. And we come back with another, I don't know if you want to say chance, but we're going to take a flyer on Tanner Koziel, try to get a little bit more talent at the tight end spot. Now, that's a lot of fun. I think that's a good time. And I'm going to switch here to a different mock machine so that we can do something a little bit different. And I'm enjoying the fact that we don't have to use the same thing all the time. So let's go over, and folks have suggested this one to me. I'm not a power user of this particular mock simulator, but it is something that I like. So we're going to try out mock draft database, and we're going to take KC, and we'll just select 5 rounds since we've already done one. We're going to go pre-draft. We'll do the expert board, and we'll go fast. So this is like standard trading. I don't know how that works, so you guys know better than I. Let's just get in here and see what it looks like. And I really don't know how trades work here. So we're going to continue to just kind of play it out and see what this board is. I don't know who does this board. Is it a consensus board? I would hope that it would. But let's kick this thing off and see where we get. Again, just letting it come to us. And a trade back with the Eagles that doesn't involve the first round pick would be ludicrous. Honestly, that's not something that would ever be offered. No one would take that. Now we're in a situation. Let's see who was taken, just because I want to see it. Mendoza's still at number 1. Reese, Fano, they really like Fano. I don't think anybody's that high on him. Bain, Tate, Maui Noah. I don't think Maui Noah is a top 10 pick by any way, shape, or form. Bailey, Lemon. Okay, so similar. There's a couple of discrepancies. Jeremiah Love's still here. Caleb Downs is here. Dan would pull the trigger on Downs immediately. With Reese gone, I'm not there. With Bain gone, I'm not there. Sadiq is at 18. If we could have traded down, I would have done that. In fact, maybe I can force that. Let's see. Who do we want to trade down with? Let's try to get to 12, knowing that he's ranked 18 on this board. Let's try to get to Dallas and see if they'll give up 12. And we'll give you 40. And we want 20 back. Okay. Oh, man, that's a bad trade. So let's go to LA. They're at 13. And maybe we can squeeze that. Okay, that would be accepted by both sides where we're splitting. And that would allow us to probably get to the point that we take somebody else. But we don't need to do that. If you guys are really sold on Love, we could do that again. But I want to see what it looks like when we take either of those guys and what comes up at 40. So let's just pull the trigger and we'll do Love again just for sake of comparison with mock draft database versus PFF. Now, here's a more realistic trade where you're staying within the round. The Bills aren't trying to fleece you, and they're giving you their third and their fifth and a couple picks next year. That means there is some desperation there, and I'm not against fulfilling desperation. Patriots is dropping down to the third. That's not something I would entertain. So let's take a look at who's here. And so Caden McDonald, big boy. Trigg and Mesidor. Oh, I like the way that that's going. So now you got the running back, but you're still able to get the pass rusher that I like. Lee Hunter, I would have over the guy that we just took from Texas Tech in Gill. And let's see. Zion's there. Tinman's there. Malachi Fields. Okay, this is becoming very, very clear to me. And I do like Pons, you guys. Really like Pons. This is becoming clear that I don't think Caden McDonald's an impact player for the Chiefs necessarily, unless we hear something about them needing more oomph at 0. Somebody that can man the middle a bit more. So let's just take Mesidor and be happy with it, because I certainly am. So now we've got one of the arguably the 3 or 4 best pass rushers. There's another trade down option. Oh, there's 5 trade down options here. 74 down to 101. That's too far. Even if I get fifths back, I couldn't care less. Down to 107, too far, even with 2 fifths back. 148, not even going to consider it. 74 down to 91. Buffalo's really trying to move here, but I'm not taking next year's 4 and a couple of 7s. That's redonkulous. And same thing with Washington. So we are out the door. Now we come up. Oh, and this one's following the way that I like. I'm really enjoying this. Now, we already took Jeremiah Love. So Jerry Price is out of here. Again, Trinidad Chambliss in the 60s in both of these machines. I don't think that sticks, to tell you the truth. Surratt is a guy that I like. Takes that back shoulder pass and knows how to play it. Really enjoy that. But Pons is a guy that's feisty. They have Rodriguez a lot higher than PFF does as well. So that's something to keep an eye on. Jacoby Lane, nah. Tony Williams, nah. Neither of those guys really make me want to jump the gun and grab them. So it is very, very straightforward. We're adding Pons to this roster. That is 3 solid picks for addressing Chiefs' needs. I'm not going to entertain any more trade back offers. I want to see what's actually here. Dennis Sutton could be another double dip candidate. Trigg, there's my guy. I think he's somebody that can add to this offense, and I think it's not a huge investment. Where we're sitting at now, I kind of like it. I'm going to pull the trigger on him and add him back to this roster. We don't need any running backs. It's pretty running back heavy right there in the rankings. And we are ticking down to 146. We're not taking trade offers, folks. Thanks for trying, but we out. Now my guy Perkins is there, and I do think he is definitely a challenge to try to find the right spot for. I do acknowledge that. But I think he just does something. And here's old guy CJ Daniels, very different. We're gonna stay with the theme and take CJ as well, because I think as a 4th receiver, he brings you something, and I like it. We're not trading back Cleveland. We're just not trading back. There's another scenario where Tanner Koziol available again. Since we just took him and we already have a tight end, I don't think I'm going to go there. Tyree Sapp, I don't know. Cave Hart. I'm trying to look for somebody that's inspiring, given this is our last pick of the draft, and we've covered a lot of bases. My gut would be that for Andy Reid and not having to pay a quarterback is a big plus. I would be tempted to take somebody like Klubnik as a flyer with the last draft pick. I would find that hilarious, and maybe they could even turn it into something. I do believe that. One of this machine's suggestions is a defensive tackle that I have not even worked up yet. And I don't even mean Capehart. I mean the other guy. Can I filter this? Yes, I can filter this on DL. So they're kind of giving us all kinds of options here at the interior D line. I mean, Capehart, he's okay. I won't say he's top line. Logan Fano popped in there for a second. I forgot about him. Harris, Thompson, anybody who's like value pick, I'm trying to pick out of the fray here. Nobody's standing out. I'm just kind of uninspired at this point. So let's see. Trey Moore. Oh, Patrick Payton. No, nobody's really jumping out that I just want to go add because I think they're a diamond in the rough, or, you know, the next Trey Smith 6th-round pick becomes a Pro Bowl or that kind of thing, which is what I'm always really looking for, to tell you the truth. So let's go back. It's an athletic linebacker group. I want to see if there's anybody that I like in here. I'm not drafting somebody named Scooby. I'm just telling you. It is not in my plan. So can we double up at weapon? Anybody we like here? John Carroll. Why not take a flyer, right? There's your guy that you guys have been asking for. Let's see what the results look like. Jeremiah Love in the first. We come back with Mesidor, D'Angelo Pons, Michael Trigg at the tight end position, then C.J. Daniels. We come back with Tyron, and we get 2 day 3 wide receivers that we think we can push pretty hard. A lot of A's on this report card, so to speak. I don't know that I buy that, but that's what we ended up with. Let me know what you think. Did you like these scenarios? Is this what you were looking for? A little bit more realistic. I do think a trade back is in the future for number 9. So next time we'll do more of a, let's not gather as many picks as we can, but we'll do more of a realistic trade back scenario, because I do think that's coming for the Kansas City Chiefs. Thanks for being with me. I appreciate you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you were live, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being good to each other. Dan's got film coming tomorrow. You're not going to want to miss that. And we'll be back later in the week. Have a great one. I'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.